Wow, gang, it's us. Bonus content. Been a while since we've done one of these, huh?
Venus content.
Yeah, sure.
I love when there's additional content to the content that I have originally been scheduled to receive.
Yeah.
We're really testing. Yeah, I was gonna say we're really testing to see if just waiting for more cards to come out can make these are good cards versus these are bad cards videos to have more than just like the same 5 contenders.
Yeah, I mean, this is... we can include EX7 in this. I don't think it's really going to make a
I had
huge
Street Day
difference.
yesterday.
Yeah, so like at the time this
I was
comes
gonna
out
say,
for champions.
we're not doing green or blue though. So what can we say are the best cards? Actually, no. We're also not doing black, so I can't flame the NSP Black 6. Yeah, whatever.
True.
It will really be which Lilith makes the cut. If you're new to how these work, we tend to just go through nearly every Digimon in existence to figure out which ones are the best 5 and the worst 5. We will have banlist Digimon separate, eggs will be separate, we'll have a special mention for aces, and then we're also going to find the 5 stinkiest, most useless purple cardboard Digimon in the game. We'll do options and tamers another time, but yeah, fellas, any off the rip? Anyone want to throw out a stinker or a champion? I don't know.
Are we all good?
Yeah, I think we're good. I got a little bit of a hiccup there. Very
Long
Just
shot.
for the momenta.
Discord said, "Uh-oh." Now we're good though.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Andrew kind of started us off, right, gentlemen? Which Lilithmon is it, and are we all just gonna put that?
It's BT3. It's
BT3 Lilith. It's BT3 Lilith. Like, let's start. I don't know where she goes
I don't
here.
necessarily. I think I get the vibe looking at this card that just like because we're assessing them on card quality alone and not like what they do in the context of decks or anything like that.
I mean, some of it is context-based because like results.
Sure. I mean, for the rankings, it will be context-based, but I'm saying just based on her card text alone, this card reads like a top 5 Digimon card, and then you get to the context.
I was gonna say, because the thing that she does that's so special is she is the centerpiece of like now she's been the centerpiece of now 3 strategies. So there was of course back in my day, except it was actually before my day. So Marcio can say back in my day.
Back in my
Lilith
day.
Loop. Lilith Loop.
Well, it was like
Lilith didn't blow up that early though, right?
No, so the thing with like Lilith, it was that like Lilith was sort of like the enabler back then, and she was like the reason why you'd build up a stack, and then you could add like very early on, like it was still like the Lilith add back Jack Raid, and then like Purple didn't have like a ton going for it between like there was some notable decks like in BT1 you had like the Piedmon deck, you had like the Mastemon piles in like 1.5 type beat. In BT4 I believe we had like the Promo Melga type deck.
The Digiverse one?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Oh, I love when there's outages when we try and record.
Comedy.
But yeah, like the Promo Metal Garurumon, like being able to use options and stuff like these, like you always could run like the Lilith alongside them, and then eventually like Lilith started getting its like more dedicated deck. Leading up to BT 6-7.
Oh my gosh, we've actually picked the worst time to record.
Yeah, apparently this is just unusable recording moment. Oh, well.
Splendid.
You're not gonna edit shit, are you?
Yeah, Rotterdam 979.
Someone will fix this. Someone is me.
Andrew, you're the only person who will fix this.
Yeah.
I better not hear this in a video.
Yeah.
Either way, Lilithmon though,
okay.
like Marcy was saying, Lilithmon eventually started, rather than being like those spellcaster decks where it's like the guys that let you cast free options or Lilith that let you add back your options. Eventually, it started being now there are options that aren't just like reactive removal spells or extenders like Jack Raid. It's like now there's extenders, capital E, where Mega Digimon Fusion obviously is like the most standout option. Obviously, she can't add that back, but going like Jack Raid, Mega Digimon Fusion into Zwart revive a 5, evolve the 5 into Lilith, add back your 2 Jack Raids, was just like, congratulations, the economy is in shambles. You can now do whatever you want. And usually whatever you want was Purple's native level 4 with Rush, which is it Promote? Ginkaku promote.
Ginkaku is usually the card.
So Ginkaku promote, like one of the easier, simpler things you would do is just throw an infinite number of Ginkaku promotes at your opponent and just murder them to death with those. Then her kind of obviously Mega Digimon Fusion got shot. Thank fuck, and it's the only card at 0. They should do that more. But then
Lilith stopped being problematic up until like Milith.
And then her next appearance was in Milith.
Yeah, there was like fringe werewolf mode loop stuff that started popping up a little bit before BT.
She was just kind of there. She was kind of there.
She was just a tool in. Yeah, exactly. Like
it was like the Merva Minerva type decks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They used like werewolf mode, revival. Lots of silly stuff.
But I think it's the fact that like it's a historic like Lilith, right? If you break it down, she's like been around since like the beginning of the game. She breaks the game
every time Mastio speaks.
I'm fucking dead again. No.
Hello.
Yeah, it's every time.
She breaks the game and our recording.
It's every time you speak. It's Calum sending dark forces towards you. It's like, no, do not speak about Lilith.
It was like that one episode with Saf.
Yeah, I'm getting cooked. No, but you're right though. Like she has everything, right? She has legacy, she has future results, she has new waves.
And then obviously, the brief mention of Milith. Try to speed through it so that Discord doesn't haunt us. But like the brief mention of Milith, like she was the thing that added back Jack raids to let you extend into even more mills. Did her usual thing there. And then now, most recently, Lilith X is like. The only problem with this Lilithmon is that she doesn't really have that much passive advantage. Like the your turn get a memory is once per turn. It's like you don't, she doesn't really give you that much to extend.
She's an enabler
there. Yeah, she's an enabler. So now it turns out being able to evolve her for one into a boss monster that like is just unbelievable.
It's pretty good.
And also you get to use her to add back calling, and then calling Lilith X to remove your opponent's board is like not normal. Or revive from darkness, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, if I lose to Protoform and then they evolve for +1 memory again, I'm gonna do a donut into some traffic.
Yeah, I think like she's easily top 5 purple Digimon of all time.
Yeah, I think she's definitely like top 5 material. I'm trying to find some more like historic lists.
I was just trying to think
with regards to like our own rules to this, where we try not to double dip on archetypes. This is the tricky one. She obviously is. And this is maybe more true with purple than a lot of the colors, just one of many toolbox pieces in a lot of the decks. So like her archetypes are sort of less defined. And funnily enough, in terms of 7 Great Demon Lords, this is not the Lilith that they play. So I don't think she really outs herself of being usable in that. We could probably still squeeze another Demon Lord in down the line, but like, where do we draw the line on this? Because I personally had the Black Growlmon on my list as well. As
I think
historically broken purple.
We try and do Evo lines, but like Lilith's Evo line is kind of like
whatever they want.
Her original Evo line is Lady Devimon BT3, right?
Like, it was going to be.
Yeah, it's another one on here.
It's one of my
charity.
You said werewolf mode, and I was like, yo, werewolf mode is actually one of my sleeper picks because. I mean, that card is just one of those ones where just simply based on the name, every Cerberus that they print that does something before you blow it up and gain 9.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Sometimes it doesn't have to do something before you blow it up. A lot of them can be very good because they do something when you blow them up.
I look back on like old school like Digimon lists. Like I remember one of the first like decks that she was in, not to rag on Lilith for much longer, but like it was legit like the purple like trifecta of like Beelzemon, Piedmon, and like
Lilithmon. Yeah.
And those 3 were like your like 1.0 like boss monsters that, like, and it played into the whole like purple toolbox when the game was a bit slower.
That's kind of a great segue because like I don't have a card to pick yet. But we would be remiss to not...
Facts. We would be remiss to not mention whatever Digimon he was about to mention.
Discord censorship.
Remiss to talk about what, sorry?
We would be remiss not to mention a Beels card. Obviously, EX2 Imp is on the ban list, so we can't talk about him. Sure. But like Beels X is like... That's a win condition ass win condition, you know?
He's top 5.
Yeah, I think he's
not top 5?
I don't think he's top 5 though.
I don't think he's the best Beelzemon. Like obviously he's like the wow, you ended the game, but
the flashy one. And that
he doesn't.
I would have picked like the generic level 7 unsuspend burst mode or something for being just like truly broken in almost all those piles. Or like EX2 Beels for being like the best one in 90% of scenarios.
I was actually gonna say like
the rush one.
We talked about it kind of in the actual main pod, how it's like the opposite of Gallantmon. It's like, man, we made the engine way too efficient and then didn't give it a game plan. It's like, yeah, the engine, The engine is the best part of
EX2
it.
Beels, EX2
Yeah.
Imp. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, I don't.
STBLs.
If I had to represent that archetype, I don't think I pick a level 6. I think I pick Wizardmon.
That's also. I mean, Promo Wizardmon is weird though because like he's insane in exact like in Beels and then Millith. Like those are the two places he's ever. I guess that's the problem with Beels
That's
cards.
true
They've
with
only
Beels
ever-
other than
they've only-
Demon Lords.
I was gonna say yeah. Every Beels has only really ever shown up in its own deck.
It's like one of Purple's really airtight archetypes.
I would just. We don't have to pick one yet, but like I would like to just like write to the side somewhere, like you know.
I'm down
Beels
with
is
Beels
worth-
X on there. I did pull his
The thing with
JPEG
Beels
out on
X,
my list.
the thing with Beels X is that he's the only one who I feel like has quote unquote breached the containment of his own deck, where it's like, you know, the thing I always say about Leviamon that was frustrating in like BT15 era Leviamon is that like Leviamon could play so many cards and you just had to hope by the time the best of 3 was over, you had figured out all their random stuff. Because I remember losing a game in tournament in game 3 because I found out exactly in game 3 my opponent was on. Every time I try to do a drum roll, I get cut out by Discord. I'm being like, Andrew, you've got a hotkey. Andrew is a hotkey. I'm being trolled.
Bro got find out next time.
Where did I get cut off? Did I get cut off during my drum roll?
Yeah. Literally on the drum roll.
I found out he was on Beels X antibody, so his level 5 swung, X evoed into Beels, burned, trashed 2, swung direct for lethal, and that was the end of my tournament run because that was last round, and like that was one of the things that Beels X could do is that he can just show like he doesn't show up in like a bunch of purple decks. You already have to have reason to play the other cards. Like the X antibody was already in Leviamon, so you only had to play Beels X.
It's definitely splashable.
It's also sometimes shows up in Demon Lords, sometimes just as like an extra name that you can sometimes do stuff with. Like he's, I don't know. Obviously, people were wrong to think that he was supposed to be the thing that they hit from Beelzemon. They definitely probably hit the right card. But like, there were people talking about the fact that, you know, this card that reads burn 3 security probably shouldn't exist. And like, I mean, they were wrong, but like cards that are worth ban list discussion are worth addressing. I don't know. I think Beels X is like, he's a house.
He's definitely there.
He's the flashiest thing that happens, other than the fucking mill 16 chains. But that's why they hit EX2 Imp.
Anybody have another card that they want to mention?
I do. Have
I
one
literally
more,
have
and
11.
I'll stop saying purple.
Go ahead.
He's not doing anything right now, but he rears his ugly head around every once in a while. Arrestergermon Superior mode.
Okay, cool. I picked Arrestergermon himself. Superior mode is a cool choice, though.
I don't know if I would put I feel like they only go in one deck.
That's fair. It's in my mind.
Purple hybrid VT18 has been stealing Superior mode.
That's really funny.
Because you can change the colors of things.
However, I would not put this as like, I would say this is like an all-star like save card, like in terms of like the save budget in, you know, like between like
this is Hunter. This is the Hunter's payoff card.
I don't think
this is my honorable. I think this would be my honorable mention card.
And
this would be my honorable mention card, just because like there was an entire format defined by the fact that you can't play really like BT12. You could not play defend the castle style decks because there were no castles that resisted going underneath your tamer.
I'll say that like so this deck has like what 3 homes between like Bagra, Hunters, and like purple hybrid variants. That's like pretty splashable.
Yeah,
but I still don't think it's like
technically a crossfire.
An all-star. Like as a top 5, he gets like maybe an honorable mention, but I can think of like
he could also just be straight up number 5 though, because like the one thing that's underrated.
The problem is that purple is a crazy ass cheater color.
It is a. I don't know. Like, okay, with the inherit, do you think the inherit is more relevant on Arrestergermon or Superior mode?
Superior mode, because it means that your level 5 that you would quote unquote brick on, like, you know, say you drew all 6 of your War Greymons, right, in your War Greymon deck. You then do the Ayudame I bricked meme, right? If you draw your Arrestergermons, you just digicross them into Shoutmon King, and now you swing and draw a card.
You know what? Valid, actually. Wow.
Like, your top end turns into engine if you draw too much of it.
That's crazy. I had not even put that together. I was like, well, I mean, how often are you actually going to get the level 5 inherit to draw 1? Like, very often, actually. Maybe Digicross was a mistake.
Hunter's card. You just put it underneath something and then go, oops, I drew too many superiors. Either way, let's
go through your list, Tom. Do you want to start knocking some of them out?
Yeah, I'll just drop you guys a bunch of them, and if any of them immediately like, we'll talk about it, and then we'll go ahead. I want to start with the softball. I've got Gazimon from BT3. I wanted to make a special note of Floodgates in purple. I've picked Gazimon for 2 reasons. Number one, it's the oldest, and I think it just like has the legacy stuff.
Sure.
Number two, it's being 2k DP over 3k DP means revivable in scramble formats, which does matter. And in purple, revivable floodgates are something that basically no other deck really needs to contend with. It's not like a thing for other matchups in a lot of ways. Like when you out the Pomu stays dead. So Gazimon, I wanted to make. I don't necessarily think we rank it, but he's just one of the cards I took note
I
of.
would say that is definitely like
He can
top
place
five.
floodgates.
I think that's like definitely top 5 material. I think both Gazi and Psyche have been sort of like cornerstones of the color because, like you said, the color gets to bring them back, which is something that the other colors don't have. That like, literally, like some matchups will just be like, oh, you just loop this floodgate over and over again. Like for example, Mastemon is like a deck that gets to sort of like do this in the sense of like, oh, I'll just bring back this one guy, or like generic like revive toolbox cards.
I would say Gazi's probably
certain-
more relevant in more formats though, right? Because like Psychemon is specifically like, all right, our 7 demons and royals, is there a Digicross deck that's running?
Well,
the
it
whole-
depends, right? Like I would say up until like EX3, I would say Gazimon was definitely better. Like Gazi was like a reason why Purple was able to compete into things like Alphamon. Like double Gazimon was like very, very bad. Psychemon I think is better now. Like Psychemon was much better into like the Digicross formats and like the Mega Zoo formats, or even like as a counter to like Death X to give your deck some insulation.
I think
I always love the discussion on Psychemon because it's like a lot of the floodgates, you know, they came out and immediately were like, I can see the application for this. Psychemon came out in BT8, so like the things that we think of Psychemon as answers to didn't really exist yet.
Yeah.
So like Psychemon came out, and we were all like, this is kind of a stinky floodgate. And then like 2 sets later was BT10, and we were like, oh, I would do anything to make X4 actually cost 9. And then Psychemon was waiting in the wings going, it's me, the Flood Goat. Andrew, put the image on screen.
I think this pick, I just want to be clear, I think it broadly just correlates to purple has better floodgates because they're revivable. And the only reason I said Psychemon is worse than Gazimon is not, it's absolutely anything to do with their text except the number of DP means that you can't scramble a 3k. That's the only reason I picked Psychemon worse than Gazimon.
I would even go to say like, yeah, sure, the scramble like threshold matters, but I think they're sort of like interchangeable. I think like Purple Floodgate is basically like part of your end board. Like your boss monster is like your end board should always have one of these.
Remember the joke about just Death X the Anubis board when the Anubis can make their last revived body Psychemon.
Yeah.
Or of course, you know, the Misplay would just kill you with Rush.
So that's the floodgates.
Either way, Floodgate.
Yeah, Floodgates. Yeah.
My next pick is BT777 Nidhoggmon. When you trash from your hand,
pitch, get a memory.
Yep, this card I mean, Dark Dragons is still a meme, but this is also a Dark Dragon for that deck. I think this card has seen historic success at larger scaled events, and is kind of a generically powerful purple tool.
I agree.
I agree. He's one of those the nebulous purple pile cards. The ones where like you see too many of these and you go, we're doing something stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I see this and like
Alphamon or like anything that like draws.
I think Nidhogg. I think Nidhogg BT7 is a great pick.
Nidhogg's
on here.
Nidhogg's one of those cards that if you know, my ass was working a little bit harder, we'd have gotten our general how good was this actually, and I'd be working on theorem videos. Nidhogg is the first like theorem video I want to do on like the coefficient of how many of your extenders should you see because of like exponential value, and we are dead. Yeah.
Damn, you said
it's not as funny when it happens to you, is it?
The coefficient of what? Nada.
I mean, how many
Divide by
Discord
zero,
alphages make a video incredibly funny?
Yeah, true.
But
that's Nidhogg. He's tight. Also, I like that his head is like an airplane and like he has little turbine ear wings. Those are cool. I always liked Nidhoggmon.
So I agree. I think like Nidhogg, if anything, I would put he's like Purple's Hammer Spark from hand that like you cannot account for because like the Jack Raids, well, first it's an option, but
and also requires trash.
Like it requires trash.
You actually have to do setup. Whereas like Nidhogg is just like, yeah, bro, fucking draw one, trash one. That'll happen by
accidentally
thinking.
when I was digging for something.
It is definitely like an all-star, like Hall of Famer, but is it top 5? Like
the thing with Nidhogg,
like I said, I'm just gonna dump.
Nidhogg is never the center stage. That's the thing about him.
Well, so far, he did see some sporadic use, but like in the context with no having scrambles and Mega Ace, it's like the Dark Dragons deck just literally isn't there yet, and I think this card has the potential to be kind of stupid in that deck later on.
Later on, I believe. Yeah, I agree.
But I wanted to, this is what the shoutouts are for. Speaking of shoutout cards or enablers, I want to make attention to BT 1080 Skullbaluchimon. This card did actually nothing for a really long time, and then broke 2 decks, and like caused some actual banlist decisions.
I don't disagree with like Skullbaluchi because like it is like this card should be on your radar.
Yeah,
pretty interesting.
I don't think he's worth talking about on the list.
This
Talking
deck,
Mizuchi, which cannot win in the West.
This deck, if you aren't aware, Skullbaluchimon is when the effect trashes it from hand. If it's your turn, you can digivolve a purple Digimon one of your Digimon may evolve into a purple Digimon with undead or dark animal in the traits from trash for the Digivolution cost. This means that you can essentially do 2 Digivolutions in 1 Digivolution step, which lets things like Fenrir play around Imperial, locking them with something like a Dragon mode. So it took the BT17 Dragon mode matchup and made it completely Fenrir favored instead of Imperial favored.
It hasn't done anything in the West yet, but your Boko takes so long to come out that by the time this goes live, it will maybe have a top.
I like that you couldn't even in full confidence assume that the Fenrir players won't fumble.
Bring it up on the screen. Bring it up on the screen. I want to look at the stupid cow dog.
Skullbaluchi is so wild. I remember I was trying to brute force DexDoruGoramon back in like BT9. I read this card and went, oh, this is perfect. It's like, extra blank copy of everything else. And then, like the thing with SOC that's very funny is if you cut the undead tag from it, all of the SOC stuff is just like the same Digivolve from Trash Dark Animals SOC instead of undead SOC.
Yep.
Or sorry, instead of undead Dark Animal, but like Fenrir picked the better tag to keep.
I think like Skullbaluchi is kind of like Nidhogg, just a little bit more.
Discord breakout.
We died.
Yep. You mentioned
more
nothing.
A little bit. Anyway, Skullbaluchimon is, I think, more powerful but more specific.
Yep, yeah. I agree with that.
I have like a harder time if we already like not considering Nidhogg.
Oh, we are considering Nidhogg.
Because I would put Nidhogg over Skullbaluchi.
Like I said,
I like the mention. Skullbaluchi's a good one.
I'm throwing my guys up. We could take the parts apart afterwards.
Let's not talk about Dynasmon yet.
My next one, I think, will make the top 5. I think this is BT14 Loogamon, BT14071 Loogamon.
I have that on my list.
Unfucking believable card.
The card is the archetypally pushed as start of main rookie. He started main, plays the AG from hand or trash.
I would say that this, I think, is top 5. I think this is like my number 5 pick.
Yep.
I like
he's
that.
in there no matter what.
He's purple hybrid support. He's SOC support. He's become SOC broadly is multiple decks.
The discussion of Gora bases, a lot of it comes down to the fact that you scramble for this thing and it makes 2 memory.
Yep.
And it makes 2 memory.
I wish I had bought mine. That's what this card should tell you.
I have 4 of them, and I look at it constantly and go, damn. It's gonna be really unfortunate when I have to shift 3 of them.
The thing with Luga is it's the fact that it captivates everything that purple does in the sense of late game payoff, but it's also the fact that this card is also incredibly proactive. You can just go evolve, grab AG, gain a memory, and then evolve into a 4, evolve into Hal Lugar, for example, and you're still being memory efficient with that play. As being just generally a crazy enabler. In terms of start of main phase rookies, this one is insane because not only does it grab the AG
truly as good as Patamon. Truly as good as Patamon.
Yes, it's not only does he grab the AG from hand, but he does it from trash. So
I was gonna say the opposite way around. That's craziest to me because if it only grabbed AG from trash, it would require the setup of getting AG into the trash. But because you can just do it from hand, you can just go, bro, whatever. I'm draw for turn. Cool, I ripped AG.
That's what I'm saying. This card is
he's unbelievable. Also, the other thing as well is obviously we're not talking about AG here, but AG is not a bad tamer. AG and Codecracker Fang are not bad tamers either. That's the other thing that's worth mentioning here is that he is good. Because if you look at when we spoke about I think in the black cards you mentioned BT7 Dorumon as being one of the best black Digimon, which is fine, but Coda is like, kind of an active, like, whatever, there's like space on this card that's kind of wasted by a name that doesn't do anything right now. AG, like, Luga's Tamer that he grabs is like his entire archetypal, like, it's the other half of your engine is grabbed by the first half of your engine. It's like, this card is unfucking believable.
The card just does like a lot of
He
things.
does it all.
I want to throw one more thing in about Loogamon, and then I'm down to move on. Loogamon also gets away with something which of the Seeker's support is kind of unique to the 14 decks, which is that he costs 0 over generic color. This is not something they gave to Doramon or Ryutamon. And it's an important distinction, probably because their archetypes kind of already existed, but this and Commandramon get that special treatment. I think this card being allowed to be a splashable generic piece in other archetypes is more threatening long-term for what it does than in its own archetype, because you can capstone SOC.
If this card came out, like, say for example, if they started doing Start of Main Phase rookies like a bit earlier, this card would have been at 1. If this card came out a bit earlier. Because,
you mean,
like,
sorry, at 1, like, it would be restricted, or like
by now,
like,
by the time we
yeah,
get a
by
code
now, this
Yeah.
card would have been restricted. I have another card. I think this one is like kind of a dud, but it's like a historic dud, and it might make a bit of a comeback. I think like BT3 Lady Devi.
Yep.
Draw 2, trash 2.
Great
charity. This card's kind of crazy.
He does have
So while we talk about Lady Devi, I wanted to say Bloomeramon for basically the same reason, because it is a draw 2, trash 2, and then they're just the 2 different flavors of level 5s that do this.
Personally,
Lady Devi.
Lady Devi is the better. The thing with Lady Devi is that she is the better name.
The better name.
Being named Lady Devimon means quite a bit because of Lady Devi X in EX7, but also like you could argue Mastemon could play this.
It's like
I don't think they ever did, but like Lady Devimon is a name that means something, whereas like Blue Mara has retail, but is named Bloomeramon. He's for a different thing though.
The thing with Blue Mara is that like Blue Mara is for like the fucking like ignorant ass like pile decks. Like Blue Mara was for Anubis, right? Like Lady Devi.
Anything that spawns Guy gives you.
Spawns guys, yeah.
Like it's a better inherit, but
yes.
I will say,
hey, at least finding thumbnails can be real easy.
Crazy thumbnails.
Yeah, I think the retail is
Devi's
relevant though.
No, the retail's relevant, sure, but like the thing with Lady Devi's inherit is that like one of the things that stops these stupid ass like balls to the wall bombo purple decks is floodgates. Like sometimes floodgates can just be the bane of your existence. So just being able to like you evolve you have your Lady Devimon, you evolve it into Lilith. Lilith adds back some options. You just use one of your options to activate the Lady Devi inherit and shoot a floodgate. Yeah, and then the floodgate's dead, so now Lilith gains 2 memory.
Yeah.
That's fair. Also, one of the things that Blue Mirror holds it back is being 6k means it dies to random shit like Crimson Blaze. Like retail is cool and all, but like you are egregiously small. I have died to random Gallant Pops accidentally.
I'll say that like I don't think she's top 5 material, but it's like I wanted to bring her up because like she was.
She's definitely better than Bellucci and Nidhogg. Like I think the actual text on this card, I think Nidhogg is closer, but like Lady Devimon as like a historic dud is like Marcy's kind of harsh, but he's not wrong. Like beast of a card.
We're going to be seeing a lot more of her now as well, because as we go into EX7, turns out this is still the Lilith. This is the Lady Devi that came out with Lilith, and there's more Lilith X cards, and one of them is Lady Devi X. Get ready to see this card in 2.
I have like a top 1, top 2 suggestion. I don't know if you guys will fuck with it, but I think I have a top 1, top 2.
I'm excited.
BT6 Beelstarmon.
Okay.
Oh, he's kind of
okay.
Yeah. He's like kind of right. She was so good, she changed her own archetype's name.
I'm just saying, this card...
Like, 3 Musketeers was like around for a format, and then it turned into 2 Musketeers because Magna Kid was kind of crummy, and you were just like, it's fine, my funny like Gundramon will hit, and then you were like, you know what? I'm just gonna play purple cards. I'm just gonna play purple cards, and then like color source tamers.
I will say that this card, it didn't like completely change purple, but it gave purple like a different avenue. And what she does is that she's like a crazy enabler for the other crazy enablers, or like other kinds of things. Like the fact that she can play things like a Nailbone, which means that you can play like Gazi or like Psychmon type stuff. The fact that she was not only removal but also like kill potential. Like you could use her to just cast Kakadas Breath, but you could also use her to cast like Nailbone or revival spells and bring out like Ginkaku or like.
Now there's rivals too.
You kind of glossed over like the side thing there of like she isn't just casting 3 musket options or purple options.
Oh yes.
Like you were just like every single time a 7-cost option is revealed on the Digimon, like on the Digimon Twitter, like some moron that is out there going, how does this affect the 3 Musketeers?
They literally had to future fruit like Hades
like the new 3
had to be
Musketeers
changed.
don't say 7 cost now because they're kind of done with this guy. Oh
yeah.
Would you argue?
if it,
Would you argue that like because they're changing away, it kind of stops her from being like our #1 pick? Also, like if you haven't watched the other episodes and don't know that DeathX and Ruin Mode are not getting mentioned this episode.
Oh yeah, that's probably worth mentioning quickly. Yeah, if we were talking about those two, it'd be like DeathX, it'd be like Ruin Mode 1 because in purple he's even better than he is in yellow because if you've never seen someone go Calling from Darkness Ruin Mode, blah.
It's so tough. I still think there's like a couple. I think maybe she could be top 5. I just think
she could
first
easily
and
be top
second.
5.
I have 2 guys I really think are first and second.
I think that at worst she's top 3, but it's the fact that she like immediately was relevant, and then she always like she was like a recurring purple deck. She was almost like the Greymon deck of purple for a while, where like it was like depending on the format, you could build Beelstar, and then it always had a shot. And like the last.
For context, I think the day we're recording, it's been raining a lot, so maybe I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro is actively being censored.
One of the quick things like that I want to mention about this card that's like always like there's the 2 things that I think about it from that's like most recent quote unquote. Oh, sorry. One thing about it that I think is like relevant is that like a lot of these like control decks didn't really have like a proactive thing. The fact that this had Nailbone was so important because it meant it could push damage, whereas like a lot of these like reactive play a bunch of options decks just didn't either. Like the damage pushing was just, oh, this guy's stuck, I guess I'll swing it. Like Beelstar play out promote was like, oh, I took a damage out of thin air and the one from the nursery, so you can die from like 1 security with no bodies on field, or with just 1 body in nursery from a control deck that didn't have unsuspense. But then the other thing as well is that like, it's the like adaptive nature of it, where like if it ever gets good cards to help it trash stuff. I'm not sure if you guys remember in like BT12, they're like before the hits to the Beelsmon stuff, there was like a Beelstar Beelzemon, like using like the new cards, where like you would aggressively mill your own deck out with the new Hitmons, and then Beelstar as your top end, just like both the old. Yeah, like she's insane. And then fucking what's his name? Imp X was like this unbelievable Beelstar card.
That's what I was gonna say in the sense of like. Beelstar was almost like the purple like Greymon, where like the deck was relevant multiple times and has the flexibility to build towards like what was good against the meta, and it gave like as a deck it had like sort of the strength to always like compete, right? Which is crazy because
what was the 7 cost blue option that was like strip all the sources from
Howling Crusher.
Yeah, because it was the one real option that like there was no way, no how Alphamon could beat Howling Crusher from security. Or like if your Alphamon was stuck to the board, you would just get Howling Crusher and be like, oh, my swords, my sec +1s. It's like it doesn't matter how protected you are. Oh, it's all like it just all goes like.
It was,
and it just had that in its wheelhouse because it was a 7 cost option.
That's my pick. Like I think like
Beelstar, I think it's a great call.
I think she also scales incredibly well. Like you said, any purple,
my god, you hell hath no fury. Like Beelstar play Nailbone, Calling from Darkness the Beelstar, add back 2 Beelstars, Beelstar Nailbone, Beelstar Nailbone.
Swinging Kaku.
You just explode, and it's like, what happened? It's a damn good thing this list is about Digimon and not purple cards. I know it's limited. I would not rest until we still put Calling on here.
We've said him a couple times. Where do we finally factor in Ginkaku promote? Because I want to go through a couple things here. Because I think Ginkaku promote singularly being. So there are a couple things that make it better.
Did Bushi make the cut for yellow?
No, but that's because being level 4 is a lot fucking better than being level 3, especially when you're 6k and can swing through a Ruin mode.
I'm willing to say that this would maybe be my number 5 because for a while, like if we really want to go there, like if we really think that like Ginkaku was like that important.
The thing with Kinkaku is he falls like once again there's like a whole chunk of this list that you could make purple pile stuff, and it's like Kinkaku promote, Nidhogg, and then like I'm sure we can't talk about them now because they're both limited, but like the Eismons.
You're describing Titamon. You're describing fucking
all of Titamon cards are crazy except Titamon. How did that happen?
No, Titamon was kind of crazy.
All of Titamon's cards are crazy except Titamon. How'd that happen?
Marcia has brought up while we're looking at Beelstar. I mean, I don't necessarily think we have to make the Ginkaku promote assessment here. I think we just all can say he's a great toolbox card and move on. I think he's honorable mention, but I think I have 5 other things I would say. Yeah, no, I meant sorry. We're back. I said
5 other things, and you said none of them.
Yeah, true. I all gas, dude. No.
Next time the screen freezes, I'm gonna see if I can change the layout of my room and like outfit before the screen unfreezes.
So I'm gonna rapid fire through the people that are not the all-stars, but I think are powerful and generally kind of broken support pieces. We do not have to rank them all. So Ginkaku's up here. Shadramon promo 110 I think is broken. Raramon promo 101 I think is broken. Cerberusmon Werewolf BT4 I think is broken. Probably actually worth talking about, but in the context of making a tier list for 5 guys, we're gonna skip it. Gamamon LM16 I think is broken. Card is super stupid, but that deck is booty. Black Growlmon EX408, that card is super broken. Mervamon BT11 I think is a top 5er and is my opinion for one of the top 2.
Yes. So
this card should be banned at 0. I think Anubis dying just saved her, but like this card is as toxic as the cards on the ban list.
So like before we get to Merva, right? Should we do the dog himself?
God damn it, dude! I'm getting so mad. Okay, I would.
Go again.
I was faster this time. I got it.
Before they stop me, it's Leviamon X.
Oh fuck! Is it Levia X and not Levia?
Yeah, I think it's Levia X.
Really? I
think
what are we talking about? I went to
Levia.
Sorry,
I think Levia X is the more broken card between him and Leviamon. I think Leviamon is broken because of Biting Crush, and his effect is very good on its own. And Levia X has a motherfucking trash all turns. If you screwed up, you die.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's facts actually.
So, my thing with what were we talking about? Okay, so we're not talking about Anubis right? Because it's limited.
Anubis is limited. We don't have time to say that he's the best. Not only purple card. Anubis is the best Digimon card.
I will let you guys roll with like Levia X. I think one of those two is probably my picks. The last 3 on my list are. I checked, we didn't use our ST10 Gatomon, and I checked, we didn't use our ST10 Mastemon.
Yep. I don't know if they're the best.
I don't think they're as good as the guys.
If we did not mention Mastemon, at least it would be, it would be sad.
And then I guess there's a Gudamon.
I don't think she's the best, but
Agudo is like fine. I think he probably gets an honorable mention.
Yeah.
And that legit is like that is now we have finished all of the cards. I went, yeah, I should bookmark these.
So,
okay. Oh god, there's so many good purple Digimon.
I think like Merva is definitely. I think you're right. Merva might be top 5 because
I think
she kind of has to be because like she's done like 3-4 things now. Like that's kind of like obviously her first appearance was obviously fucking Grav Crush, Blinding Ray, Crossheart.
No, her first appearance was Merva Minerva too.
Her first appearance, no, you're right. Minerva, sorry, the two things she came out and immediately started doing was Minerva, which was like obviously strong, but was one of those loop decks that was kind of fragile. And then the other thing she was doing was Crossheart playing gain 2 memory options and resolving a bunch of rush guys.
It does have a Euros win.
It does have a Euros win.
She literally won Euros.
And then the next thing she started doing was obviously hanging out with the dog, and Anubis play Merva pick up Ignite, and the Mervamon costs 3?
If you don't have any,
it costs 3, and then refunds off of all your effects for discarding and effects for playing out, and then 3 rush bodies spawn in from the ether, and you dome your opponent. And then now her most recent thing is that doesn't she see play in some of the Lilith lists?
Yeah.
I did not readjust the code.
Dude, we're getting cooked, bro. She does see some play in Lilith stuff, but more imposingly, Harry, she is pretty consistently the level 6 for the purple hybrid stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
okay.
revives
Yeah,
these
like-
motherfucking on play level 4 hybrid monsters.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. Meravon, like, she's a house. She's.
I would say very easily she's like number 5.
I think the thing that's so impressive about.
I
I
think
think the
she's
thing that's
like.
so impressive about her is that she's like a lot of these cards, you know, like they do.
Oh.
I was gonna say, okay. The thing about Merva
They
is
do
that like,
what?
a lot of these cards do one thing for their deck, but they do it for a bunch of decks. Like Lilithmon is always adding back and then gaining memory. It doesn't matter how she's been being used to do that, but she's just adding back, gaining memory. Merva was a proactive card where you would make 30 million rush guys and murder the other guy. Or if you don't have lethal, she just spawns blockers. You would just make like a fuckload of blockers, most of them having retail.
Yeah, Rush and Blocker should have never been put on the same
I
card.
can't believe that it's not like Crosshearts gain rush, retails gain blocker.
Yeah.
That would have been maybe
Might-
better.
Bandai, hire
you know,
me. I can make Alphamon cards. You can trust me with it.
I want to be super clear with how much I think this is the best purple Digimon currently not on the ban list. I think the game would be healthier, and I would rather play formats where, in some of the formats this card was legal in, I would have rather Eismon been at 4 and this card been at 1. That's how toxic and stupid this card is.
I
actually kind of get it, but actually, yeah, I kind of fuck with it. When there's only one scatter, it's like, you find it, you get it. But like, obviously now that we're getting a second scatter name, obviously like that nightmare scenario just can't exist. But like, I kind of get what he's talking about.
There's also now a purple DNA 4. Like you then would have to play a red card, but obviously at least there's no purple red DNA deck that purple red deck that synergizes with trashing your own hand. I don't think I didn't notice what you were doing. You're not slick.
They're dark dragons, dude. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. They're all dark dragons. It's all pitch
I can be
oopsies Dino Bee.
I can be trusted.
Right.
And look, it doesn't.
I can't believe Dino Bee can revive.
I will settle provided she's on the top 5, but I just want to
she's
really
top
make
5.
my
She's
claim
absolutely
that, like,
100 million% top 5.
Yeah. She's I think like she's minimum top 3. Like I would quite happily put her number 1. I almost kind of want to hear Marcio's reasoning for why he should be towards the low end of the list.
Well, he still has other stuff on his list too, so I want to hear him out before we put him on trial.
Well, my thing is like, she's like kind of crazy. As a card, but to say that she's like, to me, a best card of all time, I have a harder time ranking newer cards that are not like, when Merva came out, she didn't like.
She is 6 core sets old now.
She's 2 years old, actually.
Well, no, what I mean is like, when she came out, the format didn't like revolve around her, right? Like, while yes, she did win, like say for example, like Euros in like BT11. In BT11 had a bigger problem, and that was like Black War Greymon, right? Like. So, like, she didn't demand the format to revolve around her.
Yeah, but counterpoint. BT10, like, the BT11 list that won didn't have BT11 cards. It was just people were slow to figure it out. Like, in theory, she could have run the format from day 1 if people weren't, trying to get their 3 weeks of Crossheart 4 Turbo going.
Yeah, and PWG.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When Anubis came out, like, people immediately figured out how broken Anubis was. And that's the other thing. Like, if we have to, like, if the argument is that, like, oh, people didn't figure it out, then it's like, for me, I find it harder to put it, like, not, in the lower top 5 ranges. Like, I think that, like, say, for example, Lilith is, like, more it's, like, more powerful because not only is she, like, an enabler, but she can also, like, be kind of, like, payoff. Like, Lilith, to me, does more than Merva.
I'm cool with Lilith being number 1.
Yeah,
I think that would put Merva at number 2.
You know what? Actually, the point that we brought up about Lilith X existing kind of actually works against Merva in that Jet Merva is not a real card. Like, Merva is where the combo ends after she does all her bullshit, whereas like Lilith does her bullshit and then turns into a boss monster. If we got a good Jet Mervamon that did something, maybe
like
you could argue you could swip the order.
You're speaking my language. Bro, what do you mean? You can Digicross with Sparrowmon and then she gets reboots. So you can swing Rush and then reboot on your opponent's turn.
Say, for example, like, I think, like,
Crazy.
some of the most, like, peak degeneracy Lilith was, like, you'd go Lilith, Jackraid Calling into, like, Ruin mode for 10k, right? Like, you mill your opponent a bunch, and then you, like, neg 10k. and that's like Lilith giving you like a lot of payoff as well, like enabling these like stupid combos as well. That while they don't win the game by swinging security, you effectively like win the game. But also it's the fact that like Lilith has a lot of history, and if we're gonna say like if we're trying to find like the Michael Jordan of the game, like Lilithmon to me is the Michael Jordan of purple.
And Merva is LeBron.
She was on my list too.
All right,
That's my thing.
we've got.
I'm cool with.
I actually really no. I actually fully understand your reasoning. I kind of fuck with it as well. In all honesty,
I think the obvious funniest part about this though is that now the two of them are just in the same fucking deck. That's the funniest
it does
part
suck.
about
It
all of
sucks
this is
so
that
bad.
they're both just hanging out together, going, "Hey, by the way, fucking memory gauge." This shit?
Yeah, that deck is just a collection. I'll take that shit to my grave, bro. They'll never know.
That shit is a collection.
They'll never know. I don't leak sauce. There's a regional coming up.
yeah.
The only other set of cards that I wanted to maybe highlight, but I guess like you can only really talk about them is if we talk about like the tamers, is like the Arukeni Mamimon engine. Like I think immediately very cool. This recording is like giga fucked. I'm just gonna have to make so many cuts because like the internet just keeps this.
You know, this is why I say it. Yo, episode 30, bro. We're moving to Skype. I'm tired of this shit. Skype would never do this to us. And the quality, the cameras would look better. We're moving to Skype.
But what Marcio was saying, Arukeni and Mummymon are deeply stupid fucking cards, but I don't think either of them are the deeply stupid fucking card in that interaction. The tamer Arukeni Mummymon is the second level 5.
They also like I would love to. I agree, and like I also
those two are only as stupid as the level 6 purples you can put on top of them. And who is first and second on our list, but the best level 6 purples you can put on top of some, or in Merva's case, put down, for free.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
Mervamon and her best friend Ignite.
Marcia also described like the historic duds, but like these are historic dub cards, right? Like they have won a lot of stuff. They have won stuff, big stuff, and frequently.
What are we filling in the last 3 slots? Because I think it's like Luga.
Before we fill those in.
We haven't even gotten to any
format. Yeah, this format. Normally we bounce one shitter, one champion, one
purple
shitter.
is just broken.
I have so many good shitters, dude.
Yeah, we have been on the Hall of Fame for far too long. I think we need to take a quick detour into
hold on. I just remembered the fucking Suicide Nymphmon. How do we feel about Suicide Nymphmon?
BT3M?
Yo, my son.
He could be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's a broken fiber.
The problem is that like if I had to pick another Beels card, there's a bunch of other Beels cards I'd pick.
No, but like
he is kind of that guy, right? Where it's like, go forth, my child, Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss.
No, but the thing about this fucking Impmon is that he's seen play from the very beginning of the game as well. Like,
he's like Memblocker Terriermon in purple, basically.
It was just like set 1, you're fucking swinging this motherfucker, and mill 3, and then like you'd poke your opponent like 3 times with him.
What do you mean, bro? It has jamming.
Dude, that's the craziest bit about it. It has jamming, and then it's like, you can answer it if you want. Surely nothing bad will happen to you if you do.
But yeah, we can talk about some doo-doo cards, some real stinkers.
Let's talk about some dog shit Digimon.
So excited
Andrew, you are the CEO of dog shit purple Digimon. Someone from that dog shit team is going on this list. What is the worst Bagura Army Digimon or Bagura Army adjacent Digimon?
Well,
can I give you my guy?
Yeah, I think we're gonna talk about a guy that signed up for the Army Corps, but he
didn't make it.
Yeah, he failed the exam. His ass is not tagged.
This card is on delete.
How old? Okay, he's from BT5.
Yep, but dude, they play Soundbirdmon.
Yeah, but Soundbirdmon's not from BT5.
He's from BT10. I will give you that.
Yeah,
but Soundbirdmon is this one I can't blame because the Shoutmon from BT5 is also not crossheart tagged.
Yeah, but also
this card is pretty dog shit separately from the Bagura thing though. This card is kind of bro.
Why did it? Like, I get that it's because on deletions fire from trash, so it couldn't be Troopmon play a Troopmon from trash. But damn, bro, I gotta go neck from hand to put another 3k loser down. This guy.
Look at the other Troopmon, right? Like, compare this effect to the other guy that has it, Commandramon. It's embarrassing that the reviving color can't do something with that effect.
Yeah, actually, that is facts. Yeah, why am I not milling top 3 and then playing another undead or something from trash.
How
Like,
do we feel about fake Agumon Expert?
Which one? There's two.
The one from BT5.
Okay, he's better than the EX4 one.
They're both kind of stinky.
Fake Agumon Expert saw sporadic playing Chaos Gallantmon, which was a real deck. This one sucks.
I like the EX4 one. I think he's funny.
Yeah, but it does.
Yeah.
Look, unless you play 4-player Commander Digimon, Agumon Expert and Fake Agumon Expert are not cards you've ever cared about.
Yeah, I mean, Fake Agumon Expert is the most Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist coded card of all time. It's like, well, because this was deleted, I'm gonna pitch a random card that never sees play to draw into exactly what I need. And you never see it again. It's there for
You're right, actually.
one episode, and then you never see him again.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, I actually quite like this pick.
Corporate has just reminded me that Barbamon continues to draw breath.
No, I can't. Okay, put him on the list, but I can guarantee you I have 5 cards worse than every card in the Barbamon archetype.
You know what? That is entirely fair.
Oh, wait, we're still hot on Cross, right? Let's just talk about Cross 5B.
Oh, shit! Okay, no, I can do a whole thing on fucking the X, like the B's of like fucking Crossheart, right? So like,
Wait. Did we use this in red? I don't remember.
Nah.
I don't
well,
think
if
we
you
did.
used X5B, then use X4B here.
Yeah, true.
So like, there's so much confusing shit about these cards. It's like, obviously, you know, fucking Armor Purge, whatever. But like, the fact that they digicross for like stupid amount of memory if you just use the 2 originals, so they clearly want you to evolve it, and then you get the benefit. I think X5B is like a revive, but the thing that's so confusing about X5B, like as he exists, is that both his material and his like form hate their own, like, and his effect hate their own existence. Because if you're making X5B, you still need to digicross, which means you're probably saving, because otherwise you're not fucking hard digicrossing X5 from hand. So you have to have the guys into the Tamers. But he revives from trash. So are you just like psychically knowing that another Ballistamon is on the way, so you should let this one not save so you can revive something? And then of course, the piece de resistance is, oh well, at least Beelzemon, the cross-heart tagged one, thank God at least he has the tag, is like probably some crazy inherit that makes this all worth it. It's memory gain per cards in trash. In a save deck.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but
This
when your
card's
taxi
terrible.
gets
5B
deleted.
hates his own existence.
I did see the like suggestion that with the context of the 19 cross 5, where like you can use his like super material save to save random junk cards. This card is nominally better, but if I have to consider the future proofing that we're not going to get till February or whatever to make this card fringe playable, pull the plug and send it to the trash. I think this is a bottom 5 purple.
I
Digimon.
double checked the red list, and there were bigger red demons to fry named Shoutmon, namely X2, made the list instead of
Yeah, that
the
does make
Bs.
sense.
Also, X4B I think was spoken about, but X4B does have one top.
It's a better card than this one by a lot.
X4B has a top. This card,
Does not. I have a funny suggestion. This one is the it's not quite a vanilla, but
I love it when we get one of those.
I think I mentioned it.
Oh, I want to make
some point.
make one quick casual more flame on what's it called, X4B. He costs 4 to evolve, by the way, just like in case anyone missed that part. X4B at least evolves for 3, so it's like you know a 5 evolving over a 4. X5B evolves for 4, so it's like even with a mem setter you're still passing turn. Unbelievable.
My Giga Stinker, he's a bit freaky. BT10 Gazimon.
Okay, I knew you were gonna get to this.
Yeah. That card is like he's less useful than a vanilla.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this card feels like I can't stop thinking about Millenniumon stuff because I'm really in on the secret rare right now, and I think it might be kind of okay. This card is not the Gazimon. I'm like, finally, an archetype for my Gazimon.
No, this card is like so doo-doo. This card genuinely does not do anything.
It's
you
like
don't want to play it with Gazi X?
They were so afraid to just put Retail as an inherit.
I remember.
It is what Tom said. This card, it's like this and the Kokuomon that came out in BT10, where like here's a second a Gazimon and a second Kokuamon for your BT9X antibody forms to go under. So for
One
Gazimon,
of them
exactly,
is
they were
much
like,
better.
yeah, I was like, for Gazimon, they were like, can we make a level 3 with Retaliate? Is that too much? And it was like, probably not, but like,
I remember that like there was a deck that me and Harry wanted to play, and we were like on the fence about buying like the old school like Floodgate Gazis, because this was like BT10 Digimon, so there was still a few cards. It was still like, yeah, it was like the super rares. There was like a few like 1.2
like random rares and uncommons from like old
yeah.
sets. Like,
You remember,
they weren't expensive.
Davis was really
Veemon-
expensive.
Yeah, Davis, jamming Veemon. You know, the cards that like you buy into it and then it feels good.
When you play a guy, you get a sword strip. That's insane.
So like when we were like, fuck it, dude, whatever, we'll just get the Gazimons, and I think we spent like $20 on the Gazimons at the time.
A playset of them, yeah.
Yeah. So this, however, this card blows.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
this card
great.
sucks my nuts. It's terrible.
This card, like, not even like a vanilla is more useful. That's my contribution to. I just hate him.
Yeah.
You guys
There's
want?
a purple card that I like.
I would like to alley-oop and talking about the Michael Jordan. I actually don't want to pretend anyone. If you're in the NBA, you're really good.
NBA censorship.
Hey.
Okay, hello. Yes, the card I'm going to
I own another
suggest.
hat.
The card I'm going to suggest is the me in pickup basketball of the NBA. I present to you BT17 Golfmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the worst Digimon.
This card is
I
pretty
can't
bad.
wait to lose to it and have that be a clip I have.
Yeah, this card, it's like... So
So-
obviously the immediate punchline, right, is like being Dark Masters / Apocalypse support after the hit.
Unmilling.
But then like the worst part is that what's the other support card they got, the level 5 that's right there?
Mephisto is amazing.
He's kind of good. Like he's pretty crazy. So
It's
like
just like the
he's at
movie
least,
where
yeah. But then if you go back to Golfmon, the fucking Golfmon is like, it's not just support for a deck that no longer has its boss monster, it's anti-support. Because it's like, yeah, bro, undeck them out to check notes, swing 11k, no protection.
yeah, it's really awful.
There's
Not great.
The Mephisto is amazing, and just like in the movie, when he turns into Golfmon, he becomes a jobber.
yeah. It's like the thing with Golf is like it feels like they designed Apocalypse with this in mind. They're like, you mill your opponent out temporarily,
And then you check them.
and then you start swinging. It's like, why are we swinging?
Why are we swinging? We've just decked them out.
what?
Deck's empty.
Yeah, I'm gonna win. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm cool with Golfmon.
Yeah, and then
Is Golfmon the worst one just because of being a true antithesis? Because there's like, we rated...
He's active anti-support for your deck, but not in the way that Avenge Kit is like, you know, the intended anti-musketeer. Like, Golfmon is anti-Apocalypse, but only if the Apocalypse player chooses to play it. It goes against your own win con.
I have another like kind of stinky dead card. I think like Bandai kind of got lost in the sauce with this one.
yeah,
EX1 Piedmon.
Has a... what?
Are you struggling spelling Pied? There
No,
you go.
I typed in EX1 like a fool.
EX1 Piedmon. I don't really know who this card is for. It just doesn't look.
It feels like EX1 is this like, it's such a strange set, because you'll read some of the EX1 cards and it's like, you know, the EX1 XV that kind of like aged like wine as soon as DNA Digivolving came out. And like, you know, the EX1 Agu and Gabu are like the Bond Searcher rookies that also, you know, find hybrid tamers if you're doing promo Lobo shit. But like, then for every one of those, like, oh, these cards aged pretty well that are in EX1, you then come to something like this Piedmon and it's like, once per draw a card when you pop something. It pops 4 level 4 Digimon though. That's a lot of Digimon.
Unsuspended, by the way. Oh, there we go. We're back.
The
Yeah,
unsuspended is crazy.
So
This
it's like Trump Sword. It's like Trump Sword.
This is like
Trump
the anti-rookie rush card that came out like
Trump dagger.
cool, like-
Trump fan of knives.
this is literally like the anti-rookie rush card that came out like 2 years too late.
yeah, straight up, it's unplayable.
Yeah,
'Cause
this
also,
is-
the rookies are sideways. Like, it's not even card's unusable.
Dude,
This is a great pick.
it's so upsetting in the context as well when you think like the other Dark Masters is like, oh, you know, they probably just did it for the Dark Masters. And I like the next one in my head was like, oh, like Machine Dramon was, oh, he was a secret. Oh, he still sees, but Wow, this card.
Gentlemen, I am not ashamed to admit it. I thought this was a when digivolving until now.
No,
it's an
No,
this,
he's an on play. They're
Yeah.
all on
Oh
plays.
no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, he's ass.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's really bad.
the first Piedmon with a when digivolving is
This is the ace.
EX8.
And that's the funniest part about that, of course, is that it's also still an on.
Man, yeah, this is crazy.
That's a terrible face that I got frozen on.
Yep.
That one's unfortunate.
I want to say thank you, gentlemen, because even though it has taken some restraint, I'm sure, I think it's cool that we managed to go this far. Harry almost got there, but he was like Barbamon bad. But I think it's really tight of you to have not thought of a Ravemon card that's the bottom 5. I don't think there are any.
No,
so.
no, like,
Ravemon's
I was gonna say,
playable.
Ravemon has Ravemon is still doing something kind of unfair, which is behold my level 6 you can never interact with. Like chipping your opponent one security at a time with a Ravemon that isn't there, and then when it makes it back to you, threaten burst mode to remove stuff. Like the cards are bad, but they're not like, there's a function in them.
True.
Fuck, do I
I have like another one, and this is like I think like my last contribution to bad purple cards.
Go ahead, bro. Oh, wait, I forgot my bad one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what's your bad one?
It's Veemon from BT15.
There's a Vilemon in BT15.
Yeah, we've talked about him on the podcast. I didn't bookmark him. I forgot.
Oh, the Apocalypse one!
Oh,
Yeah, but we can't use him because I think Golfmon's worse.
Yeah.
he's not like the
Golfmon.
worst, but he's not great.
The thing with this card though is that like the gap between him and Golf is like it cannot be stressed enough how bad Golf is. He is actively undoing your own win condition. Vilemon is just like, whatever, he's like bad decoy for a Dark Master.
I just think
He's also a
Veemon is
shot
funny.
blocker.
Yeah, Veemon is funny to me because this is what they thought they were going to do with the cards.
Because the thing with the Vilemon is that like he's very clearly supposed to be, because like doesn't Piedmon like the old Piedmon revive stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like this was very clearly supposed to be like we're gonna give them like Apocalypse copy old Piedmon play Vilemon, now your stack is protected, and they went, interesting. Apocalypse pick up Crania.
Yep.
My other stinker is Stardeck 16 Gotsumon.
Okay, I think I spoke to you about this card like before the
this card is horrible.
He's shit, but he is also just like I feel like hating starter deck bad cards is like
No, but like
Wait. Sorry, Marcio's right. And also, starter deck bad doesn't even apply. This same starter deck gives us a retaliation inherent on a level 3, by the way. The Kajimon's even worse.
Kajimon's even worse. Yeah, but it's on Tapir, so
No,
can't go
that's-
into Tapir X. Smile.
Yeah, true.
what I'm saying is like, who was this for? Like the thing is like, if it was like the first purple
It's the
starter
rookie.
deck,
Nah, bro. It's the rookie to revive off of your Mervamon to get retell. That way it has a rush.
oh my
It
god,
only
so
it only
true.
loses 2 memory if it attacks a Digimon.
To be fair, it is really funny that like on the pod regular was just like, oh yeah, the new Digimon eggs spend 1 to clear a floodgate. This is technically spend 2 to clear anything sideways,
So
Exactly.
true.
which is
Do you
really
like
funny.
Do you have any bad cards, Andrew?
Like that he owns? Yeah.
Like I think the connection's kind of iffy, bro. Like,
Let's all pretend to freeze.
in terms of like super dogshit purple cards, there wasn't anything that came like massively to mind. Like, obviously, I complain about a bunch of cards, but it's usually in the context of them being mid rather than offensive.
Okay, I have one that's like he's not the worst card. I won't even begin to pretend that he's like the worst card, but he frustrates me specifically. And that's BT9 DexDoruGoramon.
Oh, yeah.
So like he's so strange for so many reasons. Because the first thing is his when digivolving, over the original or from trash, is to delete everything with the lowest. Is it level or play cost? I think it's level, right?
Level, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, in theory.
He's back.
In theory, that goes pretty well with the whole swing your Gora, pop like the little guys, and then DexDoruGoramon will evolve and pop the other things. The thing about him that's so strange, and like, they've kind of tried to make him function more with the new dexes, but the new dexes have long since eclipsed this card, is his on deletion is this like uber confusing effect for this archetype, where it's the play a black or purple level 3 from your trash, without paying the cost. Doesn't even decline. I don't think he negates on plays. I think he's like, they finally were like, fuck it, your Dorumon can search when he when it floats.
Yeah.
And then if you have the dex names, the required dex names, he floats into Death X for 0. Which, like, would be fine were it not for the 2 problems that he has. The first is that in black base, so, you know, if we're talking about this as a black card, DoruGoramon BT7 makes you immune to deletion by card effect. So how are we getting deleted by our opponent? Combat? Ah, well, Doruga is a 1k DP inherit, so you're probably like a 15k idiot. So what's swinging over you? And then also most things are probably ignoring you because if you're on DexDoruGoramon, you're retaliate, so you're not blocking. Okay, so that's fine. At least the purple engine will have some native way to pop it. Right?
Calling from darkness.
You had to literally find an additional option to pop this thing for it to float into Death X. And even then, this was at the point in Digimon where tamers were so rampant and there was no removal for them, you probably would have an easier time just playing Death X from hand than sinking the resources into DexDoruGoramon.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He's just like, I think the thing that's the funniest and like the reason why he's so whack in my mind is that like, look, like you have them up here. DexDoruGa, DexDoruGray, and then he's not here, but Death X. Knockout cards. 1 memory for evolving into DexDoruGa. DoruGray pops the DexDoruGray pops the floodgates so that Oryukin would resolve, and then Death X is a fucking format-defining secret.
Yeah.
And then DexDoruGoramon.
Yeah.
He's so bad that the next one is one of the craziest SRs you've ever read in your life as an apology.
Yep. Good card. I hear. I feel like that's a card we might get. Like, why didn't you guys pick this? It's like, well,
he's like the thing is that like some of these cards are actively bad.
Yeah.
Some of these cards are actively bad, whereas like he's just kind of like passively frustrating.
He's kind of in the same vein as how like if we'd done this purple one several months ago, Darkness Bagger would have ended up on this list easily.
Yep.
But Darkness Bagger like genuinely is a useful card in his archetype now, so I don't really hate it nearly as much as I used to. But you know what? Bagra slander has reminded me that people keep playing this card, and right now this card just exists to make Crimson Blaze cheaper. What are we doing? Stop putting this Stop putting it in your fucking Bagra list, man. It's not good.
Do I have anything else? Like, the problem is
the other thing. So yeah, there's things with purple, right? Where like I want to address that like a lot of the clunkers that people might be like, why did you not include this? Are not inherently terrible cards. They are part of archetypes that have either been like kneecapped by ban lists or changes to the game, or are missing their next waves of support. So it's like purple is getting like real ass archetypes.
So if we don't want to like to not find the guts one, there is one other engine I've just been reminded that existed while looking at text on cards. If you type, I think the best search term you could use is, and I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, if you type Darkmon, DARC.
How dare you? Don't talk about Mamarcusmon like that.
Darkmon and its associated 3 other cards, the one that's missing there is Ornismon, are this weird engine that they wanted you to play that's from the Frontiers movie that the Ancients appear in. And like it's the same thing where it's like I can't bring myself to like call these like the worst cards ever because like they're very clearly here just to be like, oh shit, we didn't have more room for purple SRs because DexDoruGoramon and Ancient Greymon are your purple SRs, and this set has 3 white SRs in it. Oh, also Armour. So like they just had to make like, you know, a quick cobbled together kind of shitty purple archetype that is like the movie, so that the Ancients have their things to fight against, like how everyone has the guy that they fought in their movie in. But they're just sort of like this really clunky archetype that doesn't really like the payoff is like 2 purple 6s that I don't really think do anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sorry. The old Ornismon is like on play, popping unsuspended, and then it's like a 15k 2-check idiot, and that's like all it does. I'm sure this is like probably functional in like a popper format because it's like, you know, all commons and uncommons. And
the old Ornismon is definitely like a more usable of the birds. Yeah, so like it's still terrible.
This is just like a little package of cards I wanted to mention That like,
Mhm.
if you read the Darkmon, she has so much text to try to make this weird gimmick work, but it still doesn't.
Yep.
All right. Could we start trying to order some of our
Do we, hang
clunkers?
on, do we want to do like egg and ace before we order, or are we
very,
doing those first?
very,
I mean,
very
egg
true.
is very easy.
Egg is very easy. I feel like there's a couple.
Really?
There's two that immediately jump to my mind.
It's Demimero Tsuno.
Yeah, I was
I was
gonna say.
It's one of those two, obviously, or the gate is purple.
I would say-
I think the
I feel
game
like-
being too specific makes it kind of hard.
Yeah.
Like, we've spent so much
sure,
of
no,
this.
that's fine. In that case, my money's on what's it called, Demimera, like the old one on delete, like draw one, trash one.
I'm down to give it to Demi-Meramon because he's in everything, but I think Balmon is one of the craziest cards ever made.
And now the funniest part is I get to say which one and you get to go.
Aha!
I still think that like
I think Demimera, like the old Demimera draw one, trash one, is just like the joke about the Gabumon stack. Sorry, the Eismon scatter mode stack of Eismon scatter mode on delete draw two, trash one, Gabumon Demimera, where it's just like draw 3, trash 2, draw 2, trash 1, draw 1, trash 1. It's just like, oh, you filtered like 6 cards deep into your deck this turn and pitched 4 of them.
Yeah, there's also Sunomon though. He like maintains his craziness.
Yeah.
the Tsunomon
the
is like a
name is-
modern
Loogamon,
thing.
as purple becomes more about building stacks that don't just check security, die, and draw 4 cards, like Sunomon gets better. But I feel like if we're talking about like, iconic like purple deck that would just throw Demi-Meramon stacks at you to find their win condition.
Okay, but counterpoint. Do you remember pre-ban list when every blue and purple deck looked exactly the same until level 5 because Sunomon is unfortunately a protagonist egg and therefore
Yeah, Sunomon does evolve into Gabumon.
like
Yep,
when we were
alright,
talking
I'm
about
down.
Billstar, I
Sunomon
held
BT.
my tongue.
Yep,
So it's
Sunomon
like,
BT6.
yeah, I go
Or no,
sideways,
is he-
draw 6, unsuspend,
Which
draw.
set is the...
BT6, you were right.
Is he BT6?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's-
BT6, you were
he's,
right.
It's
an
so
all-star.
weird that the purple
Yeah,
Sunomon
he's
came out in the
BT6.
Bond set.
Yeah, that is weird because they couldn't evolve by name yet.
They didn't evolve by name at that point.
But yeah,
The
my
only
pick is
Gabumons
this.
the only Gabumons that evolve by name are like the starter deck one, the BT15 one, 17, and then Dex.
Purple's got some great eggs though, man. The starter deck Yaman is good.
I
Minomon
know.
promo is good.
Doing like an honorable
Starter deck,
mention for a
starter deck Pagumon. Oh,
Doing like an honorable mention for a Tama feels weird, but like I do like the gate. Like
Yeah,
yeah, the gate's amazing, but it like we haven't ranked Yggdrasil, so we don't have a
yeah,
precedent.
but Yggdrasil's a white card.
Yeah, exactly. We
that's
don't
why
have a
haven't
precedent
done
for
it.
this.
Like alternate Digimon is so like I don't even think we spoke about Mother. Oh, well, it's because we haven't done White. Like yeah, okay, they got censored, so they didn't.
Hello.
hit me.
Yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah,
no,
no.
he's an unleveled digi egg, so I think the gate gets that as like a stupid stipulation.
And then purple aces, right? That's what we're up to next.
Yeah, it's. I mean, can I just say that it's Granku and we move on? I love Meggy, but he's not out in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, the other ones, it's like
Master Ace is good. We now have
I've got the
Melga.
English. I've got the
Beels
English
star.
ones all in front of me. If you want to just hear them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Myotis, Lamau,
Yeah, he's not there.
Granku, Jukiao, Ibonwu, Maste, and
Beels, Metal Garurumon and Beelstar. Oh, and regulars.
He could be a pick.
oh, Beelstar Ace. Sorry, Beelstar Ace as well. The what's it called? I was just looking at the English
Yeah,
part. I forgot that
I
we're
guess-
counting EX7.
I guess Granku
Yeah,
is the best one.
Of
Yeah.
those, it's Granku.
So if Meggy was out in English like he was supposed to be, do you think he would take the spot from?
Yeah, I think he's less splashable, but the individual card quality is way high. This
I
card's
hear what you're saying,
amazing.
but like purple and green, like tamer removal doesn't happen that often for those two
Yeah,
players. Like
I think it'd be
they
close.
get it, but they don't get it that much. I think Granku is like more. Granku can do more things for more decks, and also, I think being a bug is currently better than being a dark dragon.
I agree with
Obviously,
that.
he's also a Gallantmon, which has its own things, but I think that makes him a better red card than it does purple card.
I will say this as well. He has the unique privilege of being one of 2 currently existing aces with inherits, and this one has like
Dramon, not Mega Dramon.
Oh yeah, Meggy Drum, my bad.
yeah.
Yeah. I kind of I like the reasonings for both. Like,
But I'm definitely down to give it to Granku. Granku, I think even if Meggy existed in English, Granku would still probably be like.
The other thing
first
that
or
Granku
second.
does is he just like, oh, Granku made it back to me. All right, 2 checks.
Yeah.
Go forth, my child. Or, you know, obviously this is back to being a green card, but like you can just put a tyrant over it. And that makes that overflow really fucking hard to get to. Unless I can go sideways, but...
Alright, should we start with some easy stuff for the rankings? Do we agree that Golfmon's the worst one?
Yep, Golfmon is like, there are so few Digimon cards that are actively impeding your win condition as spectacularly as Golfmon is.
This genuinely might be the worst one that we've put in. We might have to do that as a review, just like looking at all of our lists at like the end of a year or something.
What is the worst Digimon of all time?
Because like Grey Knight's
Golfmon is so because like there's a lot of like, you know, bad cards that don't, like, again, the Gotsumon that Marcio mentioned, he's bad, but it's like he's bad because he doesn't do anything. Golfmon is bad. Golfmon is bad because he actively does something to go against you.
I've just had an idea, because like we're behind the paywall right now. So first of all, if you're watching this, thanks for being a channel member. And if you're watching this like in a month, or if you're watching this in like October 2024, be a channel member and check that you're subscribed and all that. But all that said, I just had a brainwave where we could
buy a pre-release Golfmon.
Yeah, I just had a just market
manipulation. Go buy pre-release Golfmon. Trust me.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
if anything,
use your money on something else.
Oh, actually, also, if you made it this far, have your golf ball emoji in the. We haven't done these in the Bokos because it doesn't matter. But when it comes out for public, put your golf ball emoji when you go and buy your Golfmon in your comments.
I see a single golf ball, I'm blocking you on my personal YouTube account. That being said, I want to say I think there is some truth to the fact that like because we'll have finished the colors, this is like because we're behind the paywall, we can kind of discuss the meta here. It'd be cool to do like best and worst card.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
Dang.
you have to be behind a super duper paywall in order to find out what he was talking about. Unfortunately, so only we're just telling Just Justice Josh. Unfortunately.
Hi, Josh.
Yeah.
You can't say that word.
Am I too broke?
Yeah, okay, let's start ranking shit. I think Tactimon is a great call from Andrew, and I think he's probably like, my gut says third worst.
Yeah, because he technically
he's
has
really
applications.
He's a bad card in a bad archetype. Like that's that, but he's also like an intended boss monster for a bad archetype.
We got the thing that saves him a little bit is we did not have Bagra at the time that card was released. He was.
I think that makes him worse though, because it's like. You know what other deck got a rare boss monster as its first boss monster before its SR showed up? DoruGoramon.
Yeah, but like this was a simpler time. Like
that's true.
This was the same set that they printed.
After all, Crossheart definitely did not receive its rare boss monster of X4 in the same set.
Yeah, they definitely thought that like
Tactimon is kind of embarrassing.
They definitely thought that giving blocker and being able to have
being the source
no sources would be really useful. And it's like in fringe applications, cool. I'm just really salty about it because the amount of times I did that and someone goes, Crimson Blaze for what? Question mark? And it clears my entire field because no Bagras under level 5 have more than 6 KDP. So I'm fucking done.
Fellas, I'm gonna call a shot here. I actually think that second, third, and fourth are all BT10 cards. I don't know if just because Marcio has talked me into the Gazimon hate and I had forgotten about the freaking, what's he called? The Tapirmon. The conditional retaliation inherit is so funny to me.
The funniest part is,
give me the fourth worst card.
Tom, I can actually make the card even worse for you. Andrew, type Xiaomon into the search bar.
Oh, the egg.
There is an egg with this effect.
Okay, yeah, dude, put Gazimon.
So the Gazimon, actually, if you are that desperate for a retail on a level 3, you can get it from your Tama for literally the same exact activation condition.
I actually did see people using this as the egg in Bagra back when we had no good eggs.
No, because like this has like a niche where it's like, oh, are your Floodgates not relevant in the matchup? Congratulations, Floodgate Gazimon just turned into Retaliate board control.
Wait, this one's only retail on your turn. Is the Gazimon both turns?
Oh shit. Is Gazimon in all turns retail inherit?
I think it is, yes. Yeah,
he's all right. He gets to go to the cookout.
Sure, he could. I still think he's shit for it though, because half of his application is eaten up by a level 10.
Oh god, I sometimes I say I think it'll be really funny when a deck tops after we've dunked on it. I think if Millenniumon is real and that card is semi-playable in that deck at all, it would be the funniest thing to ever happen to this show.
It's a good thing there are no good purple Pagumons.
Yeah, or there's not like a surplus of good. Oh no!
Why would you play this one when you already have one that has retail?
Well, that one's.
Oh, there literally already is a native.
Yeah,
I know. But that's even funnier, and it's your searcher.
Yeah,
and
they're not gonna play anything else.
And there's no criteria for it.
Let's wrap this up.
BT10 Shoutmon Cross 5B is the second worst for sure.
Yeah.
The other card just does nothing.
It does nothing while asking you to do a lot.
And then I kind of want to go with Piedmon, but I'm open to discussion on this.
Piedmon's really funny.
Piedmon is really funny.
Really bad. It's especially sad because like Piedmon was like, Dark Master's Mega Zoo, like Piedmon in like purple decks in like the beginning of the game was like a reasonable inclusion because you got to establish a board out of thin air. So people were really excited for another Piedmon because he's kind of beloved. The Dark Masters are all like Digimon people remember from like being the big bads as kids, and like Piedmon was especially the big bad because he beats Wargreymon and Melgarumon's ass. So the second Piedmon they ever released is like
terrible.
He doesn't.
Okay. And if you're mad that you feel like we broke our rule of sharing archetypes among picks because like Piedmon and Golfmon are kind of the same deck, for one, you're a nerd, and number two, I actually think in that case you could give it to DexDoruGoramon, but like I think
Piedmon because like DexDoruGora is like DexDoruGora is sad, but is still like
you can make it work.
Functional card, and also legacy support means you can now swing DexDoruGray and Inherit, pop your own DexDoruGora, kill something, float Death X. Like he has had legacy support that helps him. Piedmon EX1 is abandoned to the fucking winds of time, bro.
Let's go do that.
Please
enjoy the 5 good ones.
Let's go do the good ones.
Anyways, please enjoy your Nightmare Soldiers deck.
Okay. This is hard. I'm down to give it to Lilithmon. I've been thinking about what Marcia said.
Lilithmon is number 1, Mervamon is number 2. I'm willing to lock those two.
I think we have to give Beelstar third. I think 4th and 5th feel disingenuous.
Sure, she is crazy. She's literally the fact that every 7-cost option revealed makes people post her face. Like, it would be a shame not to mention her here.
Also, like between like calling and fucking Rival's Barrage and
there's like so much stupid shit she gets to do. Oh yeah, she also got Rival's Barrage not too long ago, and that was literally half for her. Like it cost 7 for a reason. Also, not relevant yet, but like all the Demon Lord 7th options do cost 7. Like it doesn't do anything yet, but like keep that in the back of your mind.
She is guaranteed
that will get banned because of that though. Yeah. Like if Beelstar ever pops her head up, they're gonna just kill Beelstar.
And then what's it called?
I think 4th could be Luga.
I was gonna say Luga should be on here. Like he is. Oh shit! We did forget a card.
What's that?
Dorugumon BT16.
Oh, that is true.
Fuck.
Dorugumon BT16, I think, is going to be the next one to get banned or limited.
Taking up the entire SOC line.
No, I think like while
Dorugumon BT16 is like the whole deck on his own. He does everything.
Yeah, it is a different enough pick too. I think we're okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, Loogamon and Dorugumon. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like the 4 and Loogamon are different enough that I think it's okay.
Yes, okay. Is Doruga the 5th best purple card or the 4th best purple card?
I would
if we were in black, I would be pushing for this card a little bit harder. But like right now, because we're in purple, it's like weird for me to say.
Because I'll
give you
Luga's
5th, but
crazy.
Yeah, I'm okay with the two of them being separate. Because like Luga is also a Takemika card.
I'll give you 5th because also like I think one of the things that gets cards on the ban list is when they outperform their rarity, and they hate when rares and commons and uncommons are stupid. And,
I disagree. I think they purposefully put problem text on lower rarity cards so they can shoot.
Just a ban.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Dorugumon will get banned because he's a common.
Yes. Helluga and Soluga back in BT14 felt like they did so much. I remember looking at those cards and going, damn, they really set these dudes up to die.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then they didn't because the format got away from them.
So what are we doing with number 4 spot?
BT16 Doruga, not 17.
Oh yes.
17 is DexDoruGo, 16 is
this card will eventually like
it's Luga. I think Luga still goes here though because it's like
Luga?
it's
Yeah,
a
I think
rookie
Luga's
that gains
really
2
good.
memory. Like, it's a rookie that gains 2 memory for playing the game and makes a tamer.
It's just so obnoxious as well. Its inherit is good as well. Like literally no text on
It's
this
also
card
like
is bad.
I think the funniest. It's also like one of the most egregious scramble targets because it can DNA. So it gains its memory at the start of main, then plays AG out from its sources later, gaining a memory. Then when you DNA with it, it will now have reset its inherit, so you can have AG leave and gain another memory, or play an alliance body and gain another memory.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What this dog is fucked up.
Yeah,
So-
it's miserable.
Are we missing
I think I'm okay
anything
with
that's
these.
like? I'm trying to think if there's like.
I'm sure if we have
anything-
missed something, someone in their comments will, reply and say, "Oh my God, they forgot to put DexDoruGoramon
We did
and
very
Shine Greymon
quickly.
Ruin mode."
Yeah, like we did very quickly sprint over Black Growlmon, Raremon, and Shadramon. Shadramon is great.
Digimon is only for his own deck, so it's like hard to appraise.
He is that broken though.
He
Yeah.
is insane in his own deck, but
The-
like he is for his own deck.
The
Only.
Shadramon also does require the second Wormmon. Like the Shadramon is
Yeah,
very
Shadramon
good, but
also
Shadramon
Shadramon is
plays
good in the
Wormmon.
context of the remainder of his archetype as
Yeah,
well.
like Shadramon
Raremon
play not
is-
the BT16 Wormmon is like, yeah, I mean, cool, but like
Raremon
Shadramon
is
play
weird.
Wormmon make the rest of the combo is not normal.
Raremon is weird because like he's crazy, but like half of him being crazy is just we hit a bunch of purple stupid draw engines like scatter mode, so then Raremon kind of felt like he was the next best one.
Yeah.
And then what's the last one? Black Growlmon. Black Growlmon is good he's crazy and gallant, and then in like the only other thing he's really doing is helping Mill.
He
It's
is a
like-
genuinely broken neutral. Like he's too generic and too good in a loop deck.
Is he generic though? You have to be playing Guilmon.
Yeah, his engine is way good.
Yes, but like that's the thing about that though is that like you look at the other like purple.
In a just world,
it's like,
Black Growlmon gets Alice hit.
I mean, purple tamers to talk about.
Yeah,
You know that Uamano is the worst tamer ever printed.
Facts.
But I think this top 5 is okay.
I think this is pretty good.
I could lock.
I would be like,
with the known bit where I don't have to ever read a comment that reads "Where's Shine Greymon or DexDoruGoramon."
Yeah,
I
and
could
also,
easily
like-
say that these are the best 5.
yeah, I would have liked to put Leviamon or something on here, but like,
Yeah, no Gator is
take what
sad.
we take what we leave.
He
I-
goes
I- the
on
thing's like-
the honorable mentions. I think he kills.
I think one of the things that you mentioned
Is
though, brother,
Levia
does
better
make
than
me.
Luga?
No, because the thing about Levia that Tom mentioned is like how good is Levia and how good is Biting Crush?
I think Leviamon is because Levia X just works on every Leviamon name ever. Levia X will always be a hostage holder. Levia BEX5 was made for his option card. He's great otherwise because he's just
and Demon Lords.
And
yes,
Demon Lords,
yeah,
very good indeed.
They monopoly. Oopsies.
I was talking to someone about this. Like, the comedy of the fact that like the Demon Lords were just randomly being hard played like idiots in other decks, just accidentally made a bunch of old ones work in like Demon Lord Megazoo is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Very fucking funny.
Yeah, I kind of like.
I'm
this
happy
list.
calling that a list.
I will be okay with this, and then we'll forget a card, and then
The one memory Veemon is currently doing. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Hell, the card doesn't exist. That deck doesn't exist in English, so this card doesn't get to hang out yet. I don't
Yeah.
the
think.
one
Like,
cost level 5.
like if you see this and you're like, if you're like a Singapore superstar, hey, we see you. Good luck with your format.
The one cost level 5 hybrids from BT7 are these fucking specters that keep appearing to haunt formats, bro.
They're like.
I mean, technically, the warp one is the same amount of memory saved. It's just this one's kind of stupid and flexible because his on delete is really, really broken.
Yep. This one also has the comedy of not having to evolve over a hybrid that has a tamer in its sources. So hypothetically, if you had a level 3 Digimon that could gain a tamer into its sources, it would still reduce cost.
Yeah,
Right.
It's very.
But
very
it's a good thing that there are no level 3 purple Digimon that gain tamers into their sources.
yeah, that would be weird, right?
That would be weird.
All right. So
All
yeah,
right,
this is the
gamers.
list. Let's
Good
get
job,
rid of-
guys.
Let's get rid of all of the things. So
Sorry, Josh. I tried for your Mastamon cards.
we at least
I don't-
mentioned it.
Not that hard, but I tried.
Buy Golfmon!
Yeah.
Golfing is. I wish I
I'm a
made enough
huge
money.
fan of golfing.
I wish I made enough money to understand golf.
Yeah. I think.
Ah,
But yeah, this is our list. If you're at the champion tier, you're getting this. Hopefully on the 17th. I'm busy on the 16th for obvious reasons. And I actually have to edit this one because of this is an hour and a half recording. Hopefully the video is not an hour and a half.
Hopefully you were quiet during all the breaks, so you can just trim all the dead air sections out.
Yeah,
really easy,
I started figuring that out
No,
instead of
'cause
making
you-
dumb quips during them. I'm like, I'm cutting this.
No, because it's going to make for a great like outro skit where it's like, here's all of the dead air and funny faces.
Be the
Very
easiest
true.
thumbnailing of all of them so far. Actually, that doesn't. I do stupid thumbnails for Boko, so actually will not be usable at all.
I mean, no, you can just slap Marcio's face over BT10 Gazimon.
True.
Just like pick a Marcio face, put it over BT10 Gazimon.
That's a challenging pose to edit your friend's face over, though.
Yeah, he's
it?
he is suntanning his
but it's his
balls.
birthday on Wednesday. Have you seen that Gazimon?
Okay, fine. Hang on. Doesn't Golfmon have Apocally in the back?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it does.
Brother,
Marcio over
would
the
you be,
Apocalypse.
brother, if you would be Golfmon if I were to be the Apocally in the back? Actually, swap it around. Do it the other way.
Yeah, let me mill.
Very.
Let it
very
mill. There you go. Apocally Tom fucking buy Golfmon Harry.
Hell yeah. All right,
All right,
this is going to
gamers.
be us logging off. We'll see you, but I'm busy this weekend, so we'll have to figure something out. But yeah, we'll be back with the podcast. And yeah, champions, thank you to all the support. We're trying to do this more regularly. This is on a different day to the podcast, if that wasn't obvious from the different clothes. We're going to try and record Boko midway through the week now instead of right off the bat.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, give us ideas. But yeah.
Otherwise, we're going back to the tier list picker.
That was not. I don't have a key to get us out of here.
Just Baba Booey.
Bye, Golfmon!
Baba Booey.